Okay, so this list of farming games, in my opinion, basically have zero faults. These are ultimately my absolute favorite farming games across all platforms, and I think 4 of these farming games I have put in at least 60 hours or more into, so it's pretty safe to say I love them. So, enjoy! Starting off with Wildflowers, which is an incredibly underrated game in my opinion. This game is available on every single platform, including iOS. Wildflowers mixes the farming genre with some supernatural themes and an excellent story to produce a well-rounded and addictive game. You'll be located on an island called Fairhaven, where your character, a young woman named Tara, finds herself after some unfortunate events in her personal life. You'll move in with your grandma on her farm. That way you have a place to live and she has someone to help her out with all those pesky farm tasks.
What?
It won't take long for you to discover that there's a local witch coven that is located on this very island, and your grandma is actually a witch. And surprise, surprise, you happen to be one too. Being a witch and a farmer certainly go hand in hand here, as you can learn spells and incantations and make potions that can assist you in your farm life. You'll also work with the coven to help the town, even though there seems to be a bit of trouble brewing, as it looks like your secret might get out. The island is made up of several different locations, including this beautiful and detailed town filled with various shops, a school, homes, stalls, and more. The shops have this awesome 3D effect as you walk in, and you'll find the NPCs each have their own schedules that they stick to. The NPCs themselves have diverse and interesting backgrounds, including their own little dramas that they're dealing with. On the farming side of things, you can grow a variety of seasonal crops, expand your farm in several ways, and raise barn animals too. If it isn't super obvious already, this game is awesome and definitely worth a try. Moving on to Rune Factory 5, which I think I sunk a good 80 or so hours into, which I found surprising as I was really hesitant to try this one due to the negativity surrounding this when it was first released. This one is available on PC and Nintendo Switch. Following the classic Rune Factory storylines, your character suffers from memory loss, and with no idea of who you are and where you belong, you decide to stay in town for a while. Here you'll join a sort of keep the peace kind of group called Seed, where you'll help out people in need and eventually uncover some kind of sinister plot. And while all of this is going on, you'll get some space to call home, where you can expand it and fill it with furniture, and also a farming area to grow some crops. As you progress with the story, you'll be able to go out and explore quite a large world beyond the town, with forests, boiling caves, and snowy fields. Here you'll also be able to battle and capture creatures that you can use to help out on your farm, or even have them as mounts. The small town you live in is simple yet beautiful, filled with various shops and NPCs. The NPCs have quite distinct personalities. You can grow your relationships with them, and doing so will let you have them as followers, or can even lead to marriage. Not for me though, I kept getting rejected. But yeah, overall, by far my favourite Rune Factory game to date. It has very similar elements to the other games, but I found the art style much more pleasing than the 4th game, and the story seemed a little bit more believable and thought out to me. So definitely recommend this one, especially if you never got around to it due to the bad press. Next up is My Time at Sandrock, which just so happens to be the highly anticipated sequel to My Time at Portia. This one is currently out in early access on PC and is releasing on console on the 26th of September 2023, so really not that far away. This game has taken all the great elements from My Time at Portia, but expanded beyond that to make this awesome, addictive, and epic new game. It's safe to say this game is a big thumbs up from me. I initially played Sandrock for a good 25 hours when it first came out in early access. I recently saw it had been updated a bunch, so I figured I would continue my playthrough just a little bit more, and I got sucked in for a good 60 more hours. I was not expecting it, but I got obsessed. Hard. I've never been fond of a desert setting in any game, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, but they have really done an excellent job with it. In this one, you start the game just having moved to Sandrock, looking for a fresh start. You'll take up the role of a builder, and as another builder in town is retiring, you'll get his workshop where you can build, craft, farm, and care for animals. Starting off, you'll do some general commissions where you'll build and fix some items as requested by various NPCs around town, and sooner or later the town will experience several sort of dramas that will require your building expertise to solve. This new town you find yourself in is very different to Portia. Instead of a town surrounded by grassy meadows, you'll now be smack bang in the middle of a desert. Because of this, you'll experience some pretty fierce sandstorms, find different plants and animals, you won't have access to an abundance of wood, and you'll need to deal with water shortages. As there is this change in resource availability in Sandrock, there is an impact on what machines you'll be able to use, giving you a bunch of new ones such as dew collectors, recyclers, and more. There's also a whole new cast of interesting characters that you'll get to know, each with their own personalities and stories, and some amazing A++ voice acting. They've definitely upped their game in this department. I had so many laugh out loud moments in this game. Some of these characters are just golden. Similarly to Portia, be prepared for an incredibly grindy game as you need to constantly go hunting for resources to use to craft items for your commissions and to create builds necessary to progress throughout the story. This game, to me, is an excellent example of taking a well-loved game and building on it in almost every aspect to deliver a game that has all the same great elements, but is just on that next awesome level. Sunhaven is next, and this is a game that I've recently started playing after putting it off for the longest time, and I very quickly became obsessed. While I've not quite put in as many hours into this one, I'm so far away from even being finished, and while currently at 25 hours, I feel I have barely scratched the surface. This game is fully released on PC and is currently being ported to Switch. So no solid release date here, but it looks like it really is not that far away. If I could describe this game in a couple of words, I would probably say it's a fantasy-themed Stardew Valley. The story is that you've moved to a new town called Sunhaven, and as you arrive, this mysterious dark fog has appeared just outside of town. Ignoring that for the time being, you'll essentially work to get your farm going while helping out the various NPCs around town. With a bit of a slow start, you'll eventually be able to leave town and explore, even finding a new town 20 or so hours in, which I found very impressive. The town of Sunhaven is massive, with various shops, stalls, a town hall, homes, a museum, and more. Here the NPCs go about their day with their own schedules, and they all have unique and quirky personalities. You're really free to do what you want here, whether that's working on your farm, collecting resources, fighting enemies outside of town, doing quests, or just getting to know the many NPCs that make up this town. I did find it very similar to Stardew Valley in the way that it's a very detailed and passion-driven game with a lot of customization and freedom. On to Ooblets, another fantastic addition to the farming genre, albeit one of the more expensive ones. Ooblets is available to play on PC, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. In this quirky and colourful game, you'll have just arrived at Vegetown for a fresh start. The mayor picks up on your little no money and no plan situation and kindly offers you an old rundown farm on the outskirts of town in return for helping her out with some tasks. So a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. These tasks will have you travelling to other towns, reopening several buildings, restoring the wildlands, investigating things, and some other odd jobs. The island where Badgetown is located is known for having these strange creatures called Ooblets that people keep as pets. Oddly enough, Ooblets are known for their strong love of competing with each other in dance battles. You'll find yourself competing with many different people in these dance battles, as they not only occur in competitions, but are also widely used on this island to settle differences. You can also compete in these battles with wild ooblets, and if you win, you'll get the seed for that particular ooblet so that you can grow one of your very own. These dance battles are seriously fun to do, and not once in my entire playthrough did I ever get sick of them. You'll dance to these really funky tunes which got seriously stuck in my head all day even when I wasn't playing, so be prepared for that. The NPCs that you'll find in Badgetown and across the whole island have these incredibly funny and weird personalities. This whole game just has this fun and silly vibe, everything from the look, the music, the NPCs, the animations, everything. It all just works together beautifully. Also, the music in this game is like my all-time favorite farming game music, with Harvestella probably coming in a close second. I have their soundtrack on my Spotify and I play it all the time. It's the bomb. Finally, I give you Dinkum, a game that's not only close to my heart because it's set in Australia and features native Australian wildlife, plants, and our epic lingo, but because it's probably the closest thing I've ever seen to Animal Crossing without it actually feeling like it's ripping off Animal Crossing. This game is still in early access on PC, but it has been confirmed that this one will be coming to consoles. Unfortunately, there is no time frame, but as it's been out on PC in early access for over a year now, I don't think it will be very far away. In this game, you've moved to a new uninhabited island to get away from the doom and gloom of your homeland. This new place you've stumbled upon happens to be the Great Big Island of Australia, and starting off with a completely blank slate, you'll work to build your very own settlement. You'll need to convince visitors to move in and open up shops, to expand your town and provide access to new resources. You'll be able to place buildings, terraform the land, decorate with fences, paths, plants and other structures, grow crops and take care of animals. Each playthrough has its own randomly generated map for you to explore, filled with native Australian wildlife like crocodiles, dingoes, emus and kangaroos, and you'll be able to collect a wide range of resources like ore and native Australian plants. Not only this, but you'll be able to make some of our fine Australian cuisine, including fairy bread, pavlova and lamingtons. There's also much more to do here, including exploring the mines, fishing, bug catching, completing the museum collection, hunting and exploring the land in a wide variety of vehicles. A truly epic game. So there you have it. I hope this video has been somewhat helpful to you. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!